And who are the best ones? Top 5 Portal Kings for 2022.
Let's name this the Portal Potties.
Yeah. And then tomorrow will be the surprising ones. So we have 5 that are kind of obvious, but
Kings that have already made their decisions?
No, I mean, like, these are the coaches that are dominating the portal.
Okay. Like,
and I say that because Lane Kiffin proclaimed himself the Portal King, but really there are some other guys that I think might be a little bit better than him at that. Number 5, Brent Venables, coach at Oklahoma. They've got, I believe, 12 transfers in, many of them of the 4-star variety. Brent Venables has rebuilt potentially the starting lineups on both sides of the ball at Oklahoma with transfers. So he's done one of the best this year, and these things are going to change from year to year. But Brent Venables doing a great job of getting guys, especially with the exodus that Oklahoma had, of replacing them with other transfers.
He's been very busy, that's for sure. I mean, he had a lot to clean up when he first arrived there with all the mass exodus following Riley's departure. I noticed, to Oklahoma's credit, they kind of, I don't want to call it Dave Aranda's thing, but, the whole person over player. Yep. Venables and company have like a program or something along those lines. It's SOUL. I forget what exactly it stands for, but they showed them today with some of the players with kids.
They're in Florida, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
They flew down to Florida or somewhere on a kind of 24 people or so, players and coaches to kind of just do one of those retreat type things.
Yeah, but I want to say that they did something for the kids there. I don't know if it was like a sponsorship of a part. It was something. I just caught it in passing, but yeah, it's called SOUL, and I think that's great. I think it's great whenever you can expand outside of just a football player. So I'm glad that they're doing that. I think that'll pay them good dividends. But yeah, I mean, I'm very, very curious how this works out. He's been waiting so long for the right opportunity. He can't be more ready than he is right now for this job, and he knows what it takes and what that job entails. So I'm fascinated to see them play this season.
By the way, SOUL, Michigan's a 4-man team. Josh Norman, Curtis Lofton, Caleb Kelly. And also former Kansas State standout Ryan Young are a part of that SOUL mission in Norman, Oklahoma.
Curtis Lofton was an absolute badass. I mean, he was.
Norman was a part of the national championship team. Wasn't he the one that they ran the jet sweep with early, back before you actually saw that much during 2000? I believe. I think that's the kid.
Let's wait. We don't talk about that year here. We don't talk about it.
Oh, that's right.
We don't talk about it. You can talk about it that way, to that side of the desk.
All right.
But to this side of the desk,
I'm going to look up 13 to 2.
The SOUL thing is part of their player development, and I think that player development side is something that really every program should hopefully be heavily involved in. But yeah, I'm excited for Venables.
That was before text messages, but I think all of the voicemails between my friends and I on that game were, WTF is happening right now. What is going on? Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous. I didn't have a cell phone then.
It's just a game.
Yeah, not to me. No, not that one. That was when I was a student. Number 4 of 2022 Portal Kings, Brian Kelly. LSU is going to have a feast or famine year. They've got 15 kids in the portal, which is the same number as Ole Miss. And if they're going to be good, it's going to be because of these guys in the portal. Their roster was decimated. Brian Kelly's done a good job of getting volume in there and a lot of quality, some quality in that volume. I mean, who knows? I mean, the star rankings, whatever, and it appears like some in-demand players, but they're going to be a lot like USC. They could be really good this year, but can he put it all together in a year? I think that's probably the toughest thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know about them winning big right away because, like you said, there's so much to have to replace and so much change. But, I mean, Brian Kelly's a damn good coach. I mean, everybody can say what they want to about him. I know he's not the most popular in certain places maybe, and sure, he doesn't, need to be dancing necessarily with high school recruit when the best look. But then again, a lot of people loved it and enjoyed it, so to each their own. But, yeah, they've hit the portal heavy. That's not surprising with the changeover, and I'm just curious, how long it takes before you start to see the signs that he's got his claws in and they're heading in a certain direction, because I do think it's going to take a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3, and this guy is the self-proclaimed Portal King, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, to his credit, I mean, he's kind of, put a quarter on this, but he doesn't, and we'll see about Jackson Dart, but he doesn't have a lot of wasted time in the portal. He gets guys and they're going to come in and contribute. He has not done the thing of let's see what can happen with this kid too much, which I would have thought would have maybe been his, because he is so kind of out there on the fringe when it comes to the way he thinks about things, taking chances on guys. No, they're guys that are going to come in and they're going to play and he's going to use them. He's not going to be one of those guys who brings in a transfer or JUCO guy that's not going to play for him.
Yeah, I mean, they basically redesigned the team. You know, you wondered what they're going to look like post-Matt Corral. And, you know, I know that there's discussion about the quarterback spot or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, they've definitely helped me out being a part of the Earl Campbell Award. I mean, they've added 3 Texas players in the last, 5 weeks with Zach Evans and Ulysses Bentley and then Jalen Robinson. And Ole Miss doesn't normally have offensive players from Texas all that often, but this year I'm going to have to check their box score every week to see what those guys did. They're going to have a lot of representation, which is great. But yeah, I mean, they've been all over the place. And Dart will be interesting. You know, Altmaier, how does he fit into the picture as well? I'm curious to see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reason to be excited. I mean, after last year's a disappointing end, obviously, and then you lose Matt Corral and you lose other guys, but the portal will 180 you real quick if you land the right guys, and they have.
Baylor didn't bring in a lot, but the ones they brought in, especially Siaka Ika, who am I missing? Obviously,
Drew Estrada was key in certain moments as far as making big catches. Grant Miller and Jacob Gall on the offensive line helped transform that. You know, and we'll see with Josh White this year at linebacker. He's probably going to be a starter at linebacker, or at some point will be a starter at linebacker. So we'll see if he can continue that trend. But yeah, I was looking back at their transfers, and they had some previous to that. Last year, I think there was more of a focus because those guys made so much of an impact. So yeah, I mean, if you hit on the right ones, you don't have to have a lot. You just have to have the ones that fit the missing pieces. And if you can do that, then you're good to go.
Yeah. Number 2, and this is a guy who's probably he is the least number on this list. Just 5 transfers, but 4 4-stars and a 5-star. Yeah. Including the biggest rival in the conference right now as far as supremacy goes, taking Georgia's receptions leader off their roster and onto his, is Nick Saban. He's not going to need to really go in the portal for a lot of volume. He'll have to go for, you know, a couple guys who maybe left early or retired or didn't work out. But when he goes in, he's going to get quality. So he can go, oh, this is the best guy from Georgia Tech. He's in there. Oh, yeah, he can come up to Alabama and Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, that's just what he can do. And his is quality over quantity, and that's just what he can do. I mean, you know, Lane Kiffin can say all he wants. Nick Saban is probably going to bat at least 800 on these. 4 of these 5 guys will contribute and will be good.
Yeah, I mean, they lost a ton, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely haven't made up for every single spot that they lost. I mean, 'cause they had a boatload of guys who have all transferred. But, yeah, I mean, that's going to be a good pickup, Jahmyr Gibbs, you would think. And he certainly is going to have a lot more of a different experience in college football this year versus what Georgia Tech's been dealing with. Georgia Tech's got a hellacious schedule this year, by the way. But, yeah, they've been very active. Jermaine Burton was another big-time pickup from them to be able to get him from Georgia. So, yeah, I mean, they don't have to do a lot, obviously, because they are so loaded. But what they do gets always going to be, like, you know, basically signing day for them with 4 and 5 stars.
Yeah. And number 1, Lincoln Riley, 17 commits, and the guy who was the most sought after in the portal, and maybe the 2 if Jordan Addison does eventually sign with USC, then he'll have the 2 most coveted people in the portal in Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison. So they're like, Caleb Williams could have knocked, you know, how many football teams, Smokey? 115,
13, 15, something,
okay.
17.
He could have knocked 113 guys off their starting spot.
Really? Wait a minute. You think that many?
Yes. I think, well, okay, maybe not Stetson Bennett since, you know.
Yeah, you mess with him. Yeah. We're fine.
Yeah, maybe not Stetson Bennett. So 112. But there would have been 112 schools that would have happily said, you're our starting quarterback now.
That's a great
except for
topic.
Alabama and Ohio State and maybe St. Stetson Bennett of Athens, Georgia, because he's now a legend there. But even then, you'd be like, you know, Stetson, we can get you onto that insurance job that you're going to have 20 years from now dominating this area a lot quicker, and Caleb Williams can come and carry the torch for you. So
that's a great topic. We got to use that as a topic one day. How many would have said yes? And you're saying everybody but 2.
I'm looking at Looking at top quarterbacks, Bryce Young obviously is not taking that spot.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if he had transferred to South Carolina.
Yeah.
mess with Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
But yeah, not at Ohio State. I mean, there's some really, there's good quarterbacks, but yeah, I don't think you're not taking Caleb Williams over him.
Yeah, I mean, I just I say that, and I don't think it's that much of hyperbole.
No, I mean, even the top transfers who landed places like Dylan Gabriel and Keaton Slovis, you take him over all those guys, obviously. So, yeah, I think there's probably a couple that he would actually Stroud and Young for starters, and then maybe if somebody wants to chip in elsewhere. But, yeah, if Caleb Williams came knocking, you're going to take him. But that was a huge coup for Riley. I mean, the Jordan Addison thing, I just want to see where he's going now. Like, it feels like months, even though it's been just a few weeks, but it is apparently winding down. Texas feels good about their chances. USC feels good about their chances. Who the heck really knows? But we'll probably know something in the next few days, I would think. But, yeah, I mean, Riley has remade that roster through the portal for sure.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Paul. Very good stuff. College football.